Hi, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. We hope you're going to enjoy this Four-Eyed Radio presentation. For more shows and podcasts, visit foureyedradio.com. While you're at it, why don't you visit hermajestiespod.com/contest and enter the 007 Holiday Returns Contest. That's right, we all get presents we just don't want. We want to take them back. Well, that happens with movies too. And there's always something you want to take back from a Bond movie. Just one little thing that you would change if you could. Tell us all about it and win some fabulous 007 prizes right from the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Go to hermajestiespod.com/contest for all the details.
Today on Ranger Command Power Hour.
For 10,000 years I stood watch while humanity flourished by way of war and conquest. Yet nothing has prepared mankind to wage war on an enemy like this.
Saber-toothed tiger!
Mastodon!
Triceratops!
Saber-toothed tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
Nice.
Cisco, you gotta give us the Dragon Zord since we don't have the Green Ranger yet.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Let's go.
Dragon Sword!
Together, the five of you must set aside your differences and work as one. It is the only way you will save not only your home, but your entire civilization.
Today on the Power Hour, episode 25, Ranger Nation interview the cast of Teenagers with Attitude, recorded on October 11th, 2014. Welcome to the Ranger Command Power Hour on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. It's time to Ranger up with your hosts. I'm Eric, also known as Trekkie B47.
And I'm Zack, also known as the Cinema Slob.
This episode is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. Today, we welcome the cast of Teenagers with Attitude, the fan film created by Cisco Davis Jr. Cisco was kind enough to provide these short crew bios, so we're just going to introduce everyone. First, we have Kelvin Drama, who plays Jason. He is an actor from Baltimore. He's been acting for 6 years and brings a dedicated level of passion and professionalism to his work. Sophia Reaves is the young actress and singer from the Baltimore-Washington area that plays Kimberly. Sophia is notable for her great range as an actress and the ability to pull more out of a performance. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you.
Next, we have Hayden Livesay. He plays Zack and is a dedicated actor from the Baltimore-Washington region who now resides in L.A. He brings a deep sense of enthusiasm to his work and goes the extra mile to bring out the best in his performances. Welcome, Hayden.
Stoked to be here.
Next, we have Jennifer Ortiz. She's a talented actress from Pennsylvania that plays Trini. Little known fact, she ended up saving the production from being rescheduled after months of planning by coming into the project at the last minute to replace the original actress cast for the Trini role. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And next we have James R. Ling. He is an actor from Pennsylvania who plays Billy. He brings a great deal of professionalism to his craft, and an interesting fact that he portrays the Blue Ranger in the film and is colorblind, unable to see the color blue. So, welcome, James.
Hello.
And finally, we have Cisco Davis Jr. returning back to our show once again. He is the creator, director, writer, producer, visual effects maker of the Power Rangers fan film projects Zordon of Eltar and Teenagers with Attitude. Teenagers with Attitude is a fan film that features this reimagined cast of original 5 teens, Jason, Zack, Trini, Billy, and Kimberly, before they meet Zordon and become the Power Rangers. Teenagers with Attitude was released last month, so everyone, welcome to the Ranger Command Power Hour.
Hooray!
Hey. All right.
Thank you guys so much for being here and doing this. So we're just going to dive right into it. First question, was Power Rangers a part of your life as a child?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Not really.
Sophia.
Am I the only odd one out?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are. It wasn't a huge part of mine either.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, I remember on the set when she did, it was during the Zordon filming, and she was Dulcia, and I remember I had to just explain, like, everything.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus, Cisco.
You're welcome.
You were deprived as a child.
So for those that it was a part of their lives, was everyone pretty much Mighty Morphin to start with?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for me, Mighty Morphin.
I would say that, yes.
Well, once Zordon left the show, I was done.
Yeah. For the actors, how did you guys find out about Teenagers with Attitude, and was there an audition process?
Oh, yeah. Mine was very awkward. In a bathroom with the iPad, leaning towards the mirror, and I'm like sitting on the toilet trying to level the iPad while Skyping Cisco, and I'm, really thorough telling him this. I'm on the toilet, blah blah blah. He's probably thinking this girl's just nuts.
Well, that's what got you the part.
My experience was I heard about Teenagers with Attitude because I was in the other film, Zordon of Eltar, and Cisco asked me to come back and audition for Kimberly. So then I came back and auditioned.
Kelvin, what about you?
Mine is actually hilarious.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Cisco inboxed me on YouTube, and he was like, hey, I think you would make a pretty good Jason for my film Teenagers with Attitude. I would like you to come out and audition. So I'm like, oh, man, get to play the Red Ranger. I'm excited. Yes, I will do this. I will be there. I had another audition that was the same day as the Teenagers with Attitude audition. So I'm sitting here on my laptop, and I get a message from Ali Dash. Hey, Ali. She said, yes, Cisco wants you to come out and try for the role of Jason. I was like, yeah, me and Cisco already talked about it. When's the audition again? She was like, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And I was like, ooh. So, missed the audition. I'm like, oh, man, I'm really not going to get this part now. Once I got a chance, Cisco set something up. I got to the audition. I was the only person there, and the rest was history.
I remember I met Jim early. Like, I was looking for some extras for Zordon of Eltar, and then Jim emailed me, and he's like, I let Jim know. I was like, hey, you got a nice look, and I know I'm going to be doing auditions later on in a few more months. This is like 3 or 4 months in advance. I let him know about that these auditions were going to be held, and I told him to audition, and that's how Jim found out.
Look at that jaw. Who can resist that jaw?
There was a Model Mayhem thing he put up for Zordon for extras, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then he sent me that email, and I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, how could you say no? To that.
And then Hayden, what about you?
Yeah, I had actually, another actress had tagged a post on Facebook, tagged me in the post about it. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? This is awesome, like a reimagined Power Rangers. I got to go in for the audition. And I originally went in and read for Jason and Billy. And then afterwards, Cisco, he's like, yeah, come back for the callback. But, like, have you looked at Zack yet? And I was like, no, I didn't look at it. He's like, all right, well, prepare Zack for the callback as well. And as soon as I saw the script for Zack, I was like, oh, okay, like this is the one for me. So went back in and then read for Zack as well.
Yeah, pretty much. I knew once Hayden finished doing his read that he got the part. But, I wanted to be patient with it. I didn't want to, pull the trigger real quick. There's still a couple more people coming through. But I was pretty confident Hayden got it. And it's just it's funny because I remember I wanted to let him know. But it was well after he left, and I texted to him while he was driving home. So I was like, sorry I had to make you text and drive.
So next we actually have a question from Ranger Nation. @SnarkySean on Twitter said, how did you guys get into character for your roles, and how did it feel?
Man, oh man.
Hey, that's a good one. I would say I watched the first season of the original Power Rangers, and I kind of tried to watch a mixture between Jason and Tommy's character. I think they were sort of the same character, so I tried to use their characters off and base them off how I wanted my leadership qualities to be.
And there's babies in that background.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think I just kind of read up on what Cisco had given me because I had knew from the get that, Trini wasn't going to be the ordinary character she once was. That sweet, quiet type of, personality now became the girl with a tougher attitude, a little more aggressive, but just, I think, a fun type of attitude, nothing negative about it. So I was really excited to do something different.
I'm going to go next because I actually have to go after this. But
Okay.
But I got into character. How I got into character. Well, I talked to Cisco. I got the background of the character that he had imagined and envisioned. And then I read over the script. And then I just went and took liberties and, made the character my own with what was given to me. My way of getting into the character. But I have to head out now.
All right.
So, unfortunately, but I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the interview.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't forget to flush. Bye, Sophia. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Still there.
Okay. All right, Hayden, how about you?
Yeah, it was one of those things for me. It was funny when I read the scene with Zack. Like, I already kind of just knew. Like, right away, I was like, oh, I know this guy, I know this character. And then I, did my normal homework and prep and break down the script and stuff. But I think really the minute we sat down and we were filming and Zach's like playing with pencils and pens and stuff and drumming around, physicalizing that kind of stuff just like threw me right into who he was.
Hayden also before the actors started acting, they kind of had like a little character Bible. And it's just like a fleshed out paragraph that I wrote that kind of detailed their characters. One of the things that never came across in the Teenagers Tattoo script is that Zach's character actually aspires to join the military, and Hayden brought that wristband, like, I support the troops. He has that slacker sensibility about him. So Hayden also wore mismatched socks. Just little details like that you don't even see on camera, really. But I mean, that's just something I remember that he did to like get into character.
And then Jim, how about you?
When I first auditioned for it, Cisco had wrote pretty detailed notes about what he wanted, and then of course after we got cast, there was more info, and I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, and I focused really on Billy's, not so much the stereotypical nerdiness that they brought out in the original, because Cisco wrote him kind of as more of an introvert character, I don't think he wrote anybody as like a stereotype per se. I mean, there's like nuances for everybody, but I just kind of tried to focus on him being uncomfortable really in his own skin and just not being sure of who he was. And it was easy to do because I'm the relative newcomer to acting compared to everybody else. So it was easy to kind of channel that because I could naturally just be nervous already,
Now, kind of along the similar line, this question is actually from our co-host, AP. She couldn't be here for the recording, but she said she really loved the film and thought all of you guys did a great job on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
her question was, some actors like to craft backstories for their characters to help inform their performance. I know you guys mentioned that Cisco had notes, but did you have your own backstory for your characters? And if so, what was it?
That's a good question right there.
Well, Eric, initially I didn't, I only had Cisco, like maybe a day and a half, 2 days to prepare.
Yeah, 2 or 3
I went
days.
from like what I call super mom to superhero, and like I told my son, hey, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to be Trini for a Yellow Ranger. He's like, okay, cool, mom, see you tomorrow. It was one of those kind of things. So, to me, like what we were talking about earlier, just after seeing the description, I just kind of knew this girl, maybe something in the past had happened, and she's just not trustworthy of everyone around her at this point, but she's definitely open-minded. Yeah, so I kind of created that type of story for her, I think.
I would say with my character, what I used to channel Jason, just being an older brother, oldest of 2 brothers, 1 sister. I kind of try to channel how they look up to me, so I try to channel that leadership ability far as dealing with the other teenagers. And I think that's pretty much where I got my backstory and some of my leadership qualities from, is from being the oldest.
I need a drink.
Yeah.
I know.
The Orioles just lost.
Yeah, I saw
Oh, man.
God.
Hayden, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much used primarily just the stuff that Cisco gave us for backstory. Really focused on the fact that, like, Kelvin's character and mine were supposed to be, like, on the football team, and, like, he's like, we're boys and good buds and stuff, and for the backstory part. And then really, I think there was something in that Cisco put. Zack was like, I think it was like a leaf in the wind, I believe was the word. Cisco, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was, and that kind of just put it all, in perspective for me with Zack, just especially like that one scene where Kelvin and Jennifer are like going back and forth. And, I'm just kind of like, whoa, like looking back and forth. Just, who knows? I don't know whose side I'm going to be on. I'm just going with it kind of thing. So, yeah, I'd say that's what I use for his backstory stuff.
Do you edit burps on this show? Because I have to burp. I'm just kidding.
I'll edit it out.
I'm just totally kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Keep going.
Jim, what about you?
Like Hayden said, it was largely based off of the notes that Cisco had written, and I just tried to, especially during the scenes with Principal Kaplan, hey Chuck, that I wanted to kind of portray that he's somewhat living in the shadow of a really charismatic stepsister who he cares about, but also kind of competes with, and that he's not seeking to be popular in school. He doesn't really apply himself heavily to his academics, although he tries enough to do well, but it's not to excel. And basically, he wants to avoid the spotlight as much as possible. He just is so introverted. And so that's really like the tenets of the thought process that I tried to convey with him.
Now, Cisco, can you share any of these backstories or these notes that you gave?
Oh, yeah. I posted some, like a really early one a few months back before I announced the audition. But yeah, I can post their little character Bibles up. It goes into detail about like Trini's living with her grandmother. So like you already kind of see that why isn't she with her biological parents? Like something going on there, and we'll see more about that.
Very cool. Now, what was one trait that each of you tried to emphasize most when playing your character?
I would have to say with Zack, it was just like, if this makes any sense, just like chillness. Just like Zack is chill. It all is going to work out, like that confidence, kind of chillness. But he's kind of also like got a little goofiness in there too, but definitely chill.
I think that definitely came across, especially with the apple and the whole scene in the office. Like, I thought that was pretty cool.
It's funny too because that whole apple thing, Cisco decided to throw in like the last minute, like right before we started shooting on the first day. He's like, let's throw this apple in there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely a nice touch.
That was our Green Ranger reference.
Yeah.
That was one of the running jokes of the day.
I don't know. I think the part I wanted to emphasize most with Trini would be her attitude. It's kind of hard for me because, as you know, I'm just a goofball and I say what I feel, and they know that, as they have found out. But I don't know. I'm so laid back, so I kind of had to be a little more uptight as I felt being that character, and being that it's like 10 years younger than what I actually am. In my job, that I do now, I'm just constantly speaking very professionally, and it was hard to kind of make myself a little more mature than what I actually am, and I felt that was kind of a challenge, but it ended up being really cool. So, I mean, I think that's what I try to emphasize, immaturity a little bit, still kind of not knowing where I stand in my, in my life. I'm unsure about stuff, unsure about people. Again, the trust thing, it seems as though Trini isn't as trusting, as typical people, most people are. So I think that was a little challenge, but it was really nice to do that. So something different.
Jim?
I'd have to say it's the opposite of Zack's confidence. Billy's supreme uncertainty of himself and everything around him was probably the main thing I tried to emphasize the most.
I would just say that's a good question. I would just say that, like I said, I'm used to like me being an older brother, a father. I'm used to being that really like a leader in my family. And I just would say that with Jason, he kind of had to adopt leadership. Like he has these 4 teenagers who now depend on him. So I don't know right now if he decides that he wants to be the leader or. See, I'm about to give a spoiler away, so I don't want to say that. But yeah, I don't know if he wants to be the leader right now. I think that's the cool thing. Like, he doesn't know, but eventually he's going to have to assume that role and become the Red Ranger.
Now, next, another one of our listeners, Kyle at Deadpool_Ranger on Twitter, said, "What's it like to fulfill your childhood dreams of being a Power Ranger?"
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for that question.
That's a great question.
I was waiting for that question, man. I would say that ever since I played Jason, every time that I had watched Power Rangers since then, every time that St. John says Tyrannosaurus, I said with yes. It's not like sitting down and I'm just saying Tyrannosaurus. I'm standing up full with the hangouts and everything. I just don't have a morpher yet.
Nice.
But when you're young, you dress up for Halloween to play whoever your childhood superheroes were. And to actually be able to play that on film and then have other people. It's funny because you see a lot of adults, hard, strong adults, and then they find out you're playing a Power Ranger, it takes them back to their childhood. So I think that was the best moment of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Hayden, did you have anything to add to that? You were really excited.
It was so funny. Well, yeah, I was in Power Ranger. My mom was making me Power Ranger costumes when I was a kid before you could buy the ones that they made, So I love the Power Rangers. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't have minded being the Green Ranger, but I'm okay. I really love the character that Cisco created with Zack is just awesome. I had so much fun playing him. But we shot this scene where we're on the roof and we're running, and then we got to do we're about to morph, That was the coolest thing ever.
That was another last minute thing that wasn't originally. I was like, hey, let's do this real quick while the sun's still out or whatever. Yeah, that originally wasn't in the script or anything. We just shot that. Just shot that for fun and figured a way to put it in there.
I will say that once the credits started and then you had that scene where they all run in, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh man, they're leaving on that high mark. That was pretty good.
That was a very surreal feeling, It was pretty cool. I loved shooting that part. That was really fun.
Now, what was everyone's favorite moment on set?
Oh my God. Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer. The whole time. It was just way too much fun.
It really was.
Well, how long did filming take?
We shot it in a weekend. We spent on the Saturday, we shot all the stuff where the teens were together, the stuff when they were in the classroom, the stuff when they were in the hallways and everything. Mm-hmm. And while I was filming with the teens, Chuck Duncan, the guy who played Kaplan, he was filming the second unit stuff in another room. He was filming the people being interviewed by the news. Right. We planned this shoot months and months in advance to be done in a weekend. And then the Sunday was a day where it was a much more laid-back day. It was just when the teens were being interviewed by Kaplan.
So it was just one great weekend.
Yeah, it's one really awesome week. Yeah. And then 2 weeks before we released Teenagers with Attitude, I decided to add that whole opening scene, so I filmed that on another day.
Yeah, I have to say that because I viewed an earlier cut that you gave me, Cisco, before it released.
I remember.
Yeah, and I thought it was already impressive, just what was there. But then when I watched the release with that it added a whole new layer, and with the added effects and that whole space scene introduction, I thought it just put it over the top.
Nice.
So that was really good. Next, another one of our listeners at Monkey Ranger on Twitter said, I think this might be more for you, Cisco, but during filming, did you ever have one of those eureka moments that, while amazing, could have thrown everything out of balance?
That's an interesting question. Usually when I have my eureka moments, I just go with my gut and just film them anyways. I usually have to apologize to my actors for throwing something in on them. For Hayden, for instance, I didn't tell him about the apple thing. So right before filming, him having to film his scene, oh yeah, you're gonna throw around this apple and play around with this apple in this scene. Little things like that. But I know there was we almost had a OSHIT moment where while we were all filming the classroom scene, we got into such a groove doing that what we did when we were doing the lines, we would skip over the part where the PA system would play. And so basically we like pretty much finished shooting all the coverage and everything for that scene. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, I think Jim realized, hey, weren't we supposed to do that one part where we were all looking up at the screen or at the PA thing on the wall? And I was like, oh crap. So real quick, we just shot that real quick. So, I had them looking up at the thing, listening to the woman speak over the PA system. So yeah, that was like a oh crap moment.
Next, at Leland_Davidson on Twitter said, how has the cast bonded since your time together? Did you all become fast friends?
Oh, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love these guys.
Yeah, I miss you guys already.
Yes.
Oh, man, me too, yeah.
I can't wait till we have our next reunion.
Yes, it's always a ball. I love it.
The cool thing is that they didn't know each other at all. They hadn't met prior to the day we did the first day of filming. There weren't any rehearsals or anything. They showed up that Saturday and like, oh yeah, Jim, this is Jennifer, this is Kelvin. Yeah, they all met each other that day.
Wow.
And they bonded in light speed,
Cisco, if I remember correctly, you almost, I don't know, maybe this is something I making up from my ass, but basically I remember you saying something like, don't get too cool with them, because I guess we were getting along so well that playing my role that I kind of don't really like anyone in the beginning. And you kind of forewarned me. Yeah, you were warning me, that might just be a little, it might be harder for you to get into character if you're being too nice, and I was like, man, this is hard to be mean to Kelvin. I kept laughing so hard. I could not do that. I felt like, oh man, I couldn't, I don't know.
Yeah. One of those bloopers made it into the credits where you guys were laughing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. The high five.
Yeah.
We had too much fun. we had so much fun on set. There was never a dull or dry moment.
No.
It was, but it was, it was one of those things that worked out so perfect that we all had such great chemistry together and hit it off so well, on like right away. Yeah. Oh man, just tons of fun working with all these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really hard to believe it was real. I mean, I just couldn't believe it.
You should ask Hayden how many apples he went through.
I think it went through 5 apples. I remember I bought 6.
Yep,
I thought it was 6.
Yeah, I bought 6 and he ate. Oh. There was 1 left.
Oh man.
But no, I would say, we never answered that question either. The greatest moment on set, I would say, is this can't be real.
Yeah.
Yes, if you watch if you watch Teenagers with Attitude, the scene where Jim's character says this can't be real, 45 take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally, that's that piece of footage. How it was using that piece of footage in the film is like no more than like 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But it took us 15 minutes.
It was a domino effect.
It was rough.
It was so rough. It was a domino effect. Seriously, once one of us started laughing, the other one, the next. It was
yeah.
I mean, come on. You look at Billy's eyes or Jim's eyes, it's just like, what? It can't be real. We were just dying when he said that part.
Yeah.
I was like, your sad puppy dog eyes. I don't even believe what you're saying. I love him so much. End of the day. That's all it was. End of the day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting pretty late there.
Hey Cisco, I want to have that on audio though, like that point.
Oh yeah. You'll see it a bit. You'll see it.
We'll have to see that. That was a nice cut.
That and the morphin foot problems we were having.
Oh
yeah. When they were running, when they would run across the roof to the spot where they're supposed to stop and morph. Like when they morph, they put their hand behind their back and stick one of their right foot out a little bit, but they would end up stepping on each other's feet. We did a lot of takes on that too.
Stunt coordinator, maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, we're like, oh, he stepped on my morphin foot.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, I remember the man pigeon.
Oh my God. The pigeon that came out? Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Out of nowhere. I was afraid it was going to take a shit on me. I was like, this thing is, I'm not getting shit on today.
Well, now that the film has come out, it seems to be getting a ton of really positive response. Mm-hmm. So what's your reaction to that? And has your family and friends seen it? And what has been their reaction?
I would say I'm like, for what we did, you know, it was really low budget. I remember like the most expensive thing that I paid for was Jason and Zack's shirts. And that was like together. That's sad. Yeah, together plus shipping, it was like $80. That was the most expensive thing.
How much was the budget?
I want to say it's about $480-ish. You know?
That's not bad.
No, not at all. But it just, I was happy that up until this point, it's the longest film I've ever done. You know, It's something that I saw from beginning to end. It's a very good feeling as a filmmaker to be able to say you finish something that you started working on, and I really like how efficient it was. So I'm happy to see that people were able to enjoy it, and the most important part about it is that I wanted them to see more, or I wanted them to want more. I'm glad that that's pretty much the consensus for most people.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think the ending scene, and then when the music starts going and everything, all my friends who saw it, they're like, "What? Oh man, no, we want to see you guys more. Like, are you guys gonna do another one?" And all this. And yeah, it was so cool when we got to finally see it after shooting it, and I was stoked. It was getting a lot of positive feedback from fans, so that was pretty cool.
Anyone else want to jump in on that?
Sure. My parents were, it was really funny because they brought up when I was younger. I actually have a picture. I'd like to send it to you guys. I think I told Cisco this, of like me and I think my brother on Christmas, and we're opening like these awesome gifts. I think they were like toy guns. I don't know what they were. I was super tomboyish. And so then I had the t-shirt of, Power Rangers on it. And I think it's just pretty funny and just ironic that I got to be in this awesome project film. And I don't know. I just hope it goes far, and I think it will. But I was going to say, as far as like my family, they just kind of were like, "Oh man, look at you. It's so funny how you're working on this. And we have these pictures of you. So as soon as I get them, I'm going to send it to you guys. It's kind of cute." Yeah, I was a cute baby.
But
that's probably 5.
But I would say that the positive reviews that we were getting, it makes you want to work harder and become better at what you're doing, especially with the project. Like now we know we have a lot of fans who are looking forward to the next project, so we have to make it worth their while. Even with the negative comments, most of the negative comments were die-hard Power Ranger fans. Yeah. I mean, most of them were just mad that they didn't see the suits, they didn't see us more or any of the fighting. So, but no, we do appreciate the majority of all the reviews being positive.
Speaking of another episode, Cisco, are you guys gonna make another one?
That is the plan. We're definitely going forward with continuing the Teenagers with Attitude series, if you want to call it that. Like right now, the main goal is to finish up Zordon of Eltar. There's still a few months left to work on it. Like there's, you know how I added the one scene in the beginning of Teenagers with Attitude, just spur of the moment kind of thing. I want to put my best foot forward. And with something like Zordon of Eltar, it's going to be about an hour long. I really want it to be good for what we have, and I'm really putting my heart and soul into it. So, and you'll see it. So once that's done, start beginning production on. Right now, we all call it Teenagers with Attitude 2 in quotes, but I don't know really what it's going to be called. But I know I will say that there will be a time jump. Originally, with Teenagers with Attitude, I was thinking, maybe I can start this Day of the Dumpster remake. And, if fans like it, we can, finish Day of the Dumpster out. But everybody wants the Green Ranger, so that teaser that we put at the end of the credits on Teenagers with Attitude is really to kind of just start laying the groundwork to do a Green with Evil remake.
Wow.
So that's the plan.
And then finally we have Mecha Ranger at Ranger of Mecha on Twitter. He said, "Tell them I love them and I hope to see them in other projects. or perhaps a sequel. So do you guys have any upcoming projects that you want to talk about or can talk about?
I'll start filming my new film, Speak It Real, next weekend. It's about a predominantly black family that are all very successful in their own businesses. And it's just, showing their everyday situations that they go through.
Cool.
Right now, I do a lot of commercial stuff, so I've worked on some commercials. But as far as film, I've recently been in like a episodic drama. It's also a pilot, like a project series, shot up in New York. It was called Devil's Triangle. I played Aaron Matthews. They wanted to continue filming episode 2, and I guess the director had done some changes, so he kind of postponed my character for now, and a few others. You know how directors like to get creative, and he kind of changed that. Yeah, kind of changed my role a little bit, and but it worked out for the best because I'm really anticipating doing more Teenagers with Attitude, to be honest with you, because that I didn't foresee going too far, but I don't know. I try to keep myself busy. Like I said, I do more commercial work right now and some modeling, so hopefully something gets me out there and noticeable and a little more recognizable, if that makes sense, just to kind of push forward. Me and Kelvin talk about this all the time, just pushing forward, do the best we can as actors and, live your passion, live your dream, no matter how much you're getting paid, no matter what it is that you do, as long as you're doing what you love, and eventually hoping that one day you get to where you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm practicing how I'm going to say Mastodon every day. I don't know. Is it going to be which way? But no, I'm finishing up in December this other film I've been working on for a while called Canned Hunt, about this up-and-coming boxer. And that's a cool film I've been working on for a while. Yeah, I'm really excited to start playing Zack again when we get things rolling on TWA2. I'm with Kelvin, practicing morphing.
I'm going to be, obviously, I'm finishing up Zordon. I'm not trying to burn myself out. There's 7 days in a week, so I spend usually about 3 to 4 days a week working on Zordon of Eltar. Those other days of the week, I'm doing pre-production stuff for TWA2, getting things going. It's going to be an interesting fall and winter. I'll say that much. Yeah.
Nice. I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show today. Just going down the line, where can people find you guys online, connect with Ranger Nation on social media? Where can they find you? Cisco?
You can find me on Twitter at Cisco Davis Jr. You can also find the Zordon of Eltar fan film page, facebook.com/Zordon fan film, and you can keep up to date. I try to keep my fans fairly updated. You usually find something on there.
Hayden, how about you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Hayden M. Livesay, and then on Instagram, what am I here? Let's see. I am HTrain31 under Hayden Livesay as well on there, and just my name on, I guess, Facebook as well, but that's my social media outlets.
Oh, I also have an Instagram as well, at Cisco Davis Jr., and I only want to throw it out there because I usually post exclusive behind-the-scenes photos, special stuff that I only post on my Instagram. If you want to see maybe like Zordon holding a soda or something, you're only going to see it on Instagram.
Jim, how about you?
You can just find me at Jim Ling on Facebook. I'm on IMDb as well. You can look me up as James R. Ling. But social media-wise, I am not on Twitter or Instagram.
You did it. No, you did it.
What about you, Jennifer?
Oh, sure. I'm on Twitter and Facebook. You can actually just really Google my name at this point because I do a lot of freelance makeup work. Jennifer Ortiz in York, PA area, or just find me on Facebook. Again, Jennifer Ortiz. What else? Twitter, like it's spelled JNNIFER, so there's no E after the J, ORTZ. So that's what you can put on Twitter to find me. And IMDb, as Jim said, same thing.
Cool. And then Kelvin?
All right, for Facebook and Instagram, it's Kelvin Drama. And Twitter, it's actor Kelvin Drama, missing the A, because Twitter wouldn't let me put the A on there. So.
Thanks once again, guys. Definitely looking forward to seeing more of you guys in future projects and Teenagers with Attitude 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But we really loved the film. All of us here on the show You guys did a fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
All right.
Cool.
That's great.
All right.
Guys.
All right.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Love
Bye.
you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah.
That sounded pretty good then.
He's been working on that.
Hold on.
All right, who's hanging up first? Who's going to be the asshole? Who's hanging up first?
How about we give him a more?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the morph. You practice right here. Do it.
So we're missing the pterodactyl. So you gotta go.
Oh.
Let's Mastodon.
Okay. Oh, we going with it? All right.
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
Oh, all right. Mastodon. That was terrible. I got a lot of work to do.
Come on, Triceratops.
Triceratops!
Nice.
All right.
Trini.
Okay. I'm just kidding. Saber-tooth tiger. I can't do it. I can't. I'm laughing too hard. Okay.
All right. No, I've been working on this too. Here we go. TWA2, baby. Tyrannosaurus.
Nice.
Oh man, you got. I hope you guys know that when we film this is gonna take us forever.
Yeah.
Wait, Cisco, you gotta give us the Dragon Zord since we don't have the Green Ranger yet.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Let's go.
Dragon Zord.
We are complete.
Thanks again, guys. It's pretty awesome. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Ranger Command Power Hour, only on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch a new episode every other Saturday. Find us on the Morphing Grid at www.rangercommand.com. Follow us on Twitter at RangerCommandPH and like us on Facebook.com/Ranger Command Power Hour.
This has been another great presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at foureyedradio.com.